Hey everybody. Happy Monday, February 12th. We're on the countdown to Valentine's Day, so I pulled out my Muppet sweater. I don't know where I got this years ago, and it's on crooked. Everything's crooked. I feel crooked today. Does anybody else feel crooked today? That's why we're coming on it too, because I felt crooked this morning. Watching the Super Bowl. I was up way too late last night. I'm going to turn on my comments. If you're here, say hello. I see some eyes on me, but no comments. But I'd love to chat with you if you're here. I hope you're having a great Monday. It's sunny out. Kansas City is celebrating the win of the Super Bowl last night. It was exciting, and I don't think my heart has slowed down. It was a very intense game, and I was very nervous. Hey, Stacy. She got to watch me today. Good. Normally I come on at 10 a.m. Central, but this morning, like I said, we were up late 2 nights in a row, and I just could not get it together this morning. I babysat for my grandkids Saturday night. My son and his wife went out with some friends for Valentine's Day, a special evening out, and they don't do that often enough, so I was so glad that we could watch the kiddos for them, but that was a very late night Saturday night, and then we had early church, so short night Saturday night, and then a long day yesterday with church and the Super Bowl, but it's always fun, and it's really fun when your team wins. So it's quite a holiday here in Kansas City. I guess the kids are off school on Wednesday for the parade, and everyone's trying to figure out if Taylor will be riding on the bus with Travis. So that would be kind of exciting. There is no way I will attempt to go to a parade with, I think the last year the parade had over a lot of people. I shouldn't say, but I'm thinking 1 million, but I could be wrong. And that is not my cup of tea. So I will watch it on the television Wednesday and get all the shots. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to turn the camera around. I have to reach here. And I'll put my little self in the corner. This is the card we made last week. This is February, so I'm trying a new thing in 2024 where every month we're going to feature different techniques or themes. And in January we did different ink blending techniques, and in February I'm doing interactive cards. So this is the Easter card that I made last week with the little pop-up element inside, and I showed how to make that. It is on my blog, the video replay, or you can watch it on YouTube as well, but it is over on theplaidpoodle.com. If you want to watch how we did that little pop-up element, you can use that with any products you may have to make your own little pop-up. Then I also wanted to mention that if you're on my mailing list, on Tuesdays I send out a PDF of the project that I did on Monday with step-by-step instructions. And because this one was interactive, of course, there were a few more instructions, and so I include some photos and things like that in the PDF. So it's the project recipe. So if you're not on my list, my VIP list, make sure you sign up for that. There's a link in the description to sign up for that, and those go out every Tuesday morning. So today's card that we're going to make will go out tomorrow morning. All right, so our next interactive card is a spinner card, and I made another Easter card. It's got this little spinner element. So cute. And I'm using an online exclusive stamp set. I guess I am using the dies. So it is a bundle. I'm using the, oh, here it is. The Fluffiest Friends. This is not in any of our catalogs. It is online, so you can go to leslie.stampinup.net or shop 24/7. There's a link in the description as well for all the products I'm using today. But I'm going to use the little bird, the little flowers, the little bumblebees, and the cute little bunny for today's card. And you can get the cling stamp set, the dies, coordinating dies. And when you buy both, you save 10%. So I just wanted to mention that. The sentiment I'm using, the Happy Easter, is from the Easter Bunny set, which is what I used for last week's card. So I thought that bunny was so cute. My coloring's not that great this week. Hi, Candy. So to make the spinner card, I am using the Give It a Whirl dies. These are in our annual catalog. You get all of these pieces. And I went ahead and did all the die cutting ahead of time, so you don't have to watch me do that. If you've followed me for any length of time, you know I use these cloud dies all the time. There's also some heart dies and some star dies that I use. In fact, I kind of use these other little elements more than I use the spinner element, but it's nice to have this spinner element. I think you could make this card with, if you had some circle dies, it would require just a little bit more ingenuity and engineering, but if you don't have the Give It a Whirl dies, I bet you could figure out how to do it with some circle dies, but why do that when we can, when we have these? So to make the card, I'm going to show you all the pieces first. The paper I'm using is from our Spring Mini catalog, and like I said, I will list all the products I'm using today in the description when I'm done here. This is the Lighter Than Air 6x6 Designer Series paper. It coordinates with the Lighter Than Air suite or bundle. But I just think the colors in these papers are perfect for springtime and Easter time. So I used the paper for last week's card, and I'm using it again for this week's card. All right. If you want to see the catalogs, you can go to my blog, theplaidpoodle.com, and there is a tab for the catalogs, links to the catalogs, and you can look at them online. Okay, the card base is an 8.5 by 5.5 inch card piece of cardstock. This is Bubble Bath. I always want to call it Bubble Gum, but because it reminds me of a pink piece of bubble gum, but it is Bubble Bath. I've scored it at 4 1/4 to create an A2 card base, and I'm going to set that aside for a minute, but that is what I chose for our card base. It coordinates so well with the paper. And then with the Give It a Whirl dies, these are the pieces that I cut out. I'm going to pull out the die so you can see exactly what I did. For this main die, this is what creates your stitched layer here, and then it's cut out here for your circle to put your little spinner element. So I've cut that out with, there's a little circle stitched, they're all stitched, so that's cute. So when you're cutting it out, it's pretty cool. You can cut it out all at the same time. So you could lay it out on your paper just like that. Make sure these little holes line up. So I would use some tape. You can see I've used some no-tack tape or low-tack tape. And you're going to cut out a piece of paper or cardstock, and it's going to end up looking like this. So I would use a piece of 5.5 by 4 at least paper to cut that piece out. So you're going to need that piece. And then you're going to also need the wheel piece. And when I say if you have a large circle die, this is what I'm saying. You could probably figure this out if you have a little bit of mechanical ability. And then I use this die to cut that circle out. And what it does is it leaves an impression. You can see the three little sections. And so that gives us a definition of where to stamp our images. So that's kind of nice that it included that. And then we also are going to cut out this shape. I used that to frame out the circle, and that comes with the Give It a Whirl dies. It's really cute. Little scalloped, stitched circle. So you're going to need that piece. And then when we cut, or when I cut this piece out, I'm left with this little circle. We are going to use this little circle that was cut out of there. So save that piece. And then on my DSP right here, this little piece of coordinating DSP, it's 3 1/4 by 1. There's a little strip we're going to put right across the front. And then I stamped our sentiment on a piece of 3 1/4. This is 1 inch by 3 3/4. Excuse me. This is 3/4 inch by 3 inch. So that's going to fit right on there. And we'll stamp our sentiment. So those are the pieces we're going to need to put together the card. You're going to also notice there's a little arrow right here. It's kind of just a little direction to let your recipient know. Look, you can twirl it. I think they probably would figure it out. What do you think? But that also comes with the Give It a Whirl dies, so that's kind of cute. Let's see. It comes with three little arrows. There's a short arrow, a longer arrow. Well, actually, lots of arrows. I'm just using this one, this longer one, and then I just glued it on right there on the card front. So that's what we're going to do. And then I didn't do anything on the inside of the card, but I thought we would if I have time. So I went ahead and cut a card insert, which is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of basic white. Maybe we can stamp something on there and create a card insert while we're stamping, since I did all the die cutting ahead of time. All right, so let's get to it. Oh, and I need a piece of white scrap to stamp my little bunny on. Let's see if I have a piece laying around here, or I'm going to have to go grab a piece. Surely I do. Here's a piece. Here's a little piece. We'll stamp our little bunny on here, our fluffy friends. Okay, so let's put together our mechanism. So we're going to stamp on here, and like I said, the die does kind of all the work for us. It gives us 3 little sections, so we know exactly where to stamp our images so that they'll show through the window. And I'm using Memento ink because we're going to do a little coloring. And I'm going to use alcohol markers, so I don't want that to smear. And these are, no, they're not photopolymer, so never mind. I don't need my matte there. So the first, I'm using 3 images. Did I point those out? I'm going to use the little bird, the little flowers, and the little bumblebees from the Fluffiest Friends. When you're making these cards, you just have to make sure that whatever image you use will fit in the circle. So they have to be smaller images. You don't have to use, you can use any kind of stamps that you may have. I just love that little blue bird. And then I'm going to twirl it, and in the next section I'm going to put these cute little flowers. And I'm just making sure that they're right centered in those little sections. And then the little bumblebees. And they're just flying around here. Okay. And then while we've got the ink out, why don't we go ahead and do our little bunny rabbit critter, fluffy friend. I'm doing him. I've seen some really cute things done with all the other little friends. This is the first time I've used this set, and I've had it forever. I really wanted this bunny to fit in the window, but he was a little big. It kind of fits, but I thought we'll just stick him on the outside of the card. And as long as we got the ink out, let's go ahead and do our sentiment, and then all our stamping's done, and all we have to do is put the card together. I'm going to put my sentiment over toward the right. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Sorry if my head is in the camera. That looks pretty good. Because I think what I'm going to do is add a little baker's twine bow or something right here in this little spot. So that is going to go with that. And now we can put everything together. Well, let's go ahead and do our coloring. I just grabbed a bunch of my Stampin' Right markers. Candy said she's teaching her very first class in 2 weeks. This would be cute, but I wonder if it is too much for first-time stampers. What do you think? No, I don't think so. The stamping is simple, and then you'll see when I put this together, it's pretty self-explanatory, and as long as you're there, I think a beginner stamper could do this pretty easily, because I have faith. I have faith in everybody. Okay, this is Balmy Blue. I just love a bluebird. Was anybody a bluebird when they were little? I don't know what age you have to be a bluebird. Bluebird is part of Campfire Girls. Do they even have Campfire Girls anymore? I remember I was a bluebird, and then I went over and became a Girl Scout. So I wasn't a brownie, I was a bluebird, but then that was part of Campfire Girls, and then Girl Scouts, I don't know. Switched over to Girl Scouts for a while. I'm just taking this is the light balmy blue, and I just colored my little bird in, and then these parts that are just already shadowed kind of with the artist kind of added some detail. I'm just going back over it, and it adds just a little shading. And then I grabbed a pumpkin pie for the little beak. And then for her little breast, I used a light pale papaya. And I don't even know if we have this color anymore, but I save all my Stampin' Blends. This might be a retired color. Is it? I should know that. I didn't want to use red. I thought red would be too extreme. But there's my little bird. Just think that's so cute. Let's see. Show you guys. Real simple coloring. Very simple coloring. And Candy said she loved Girl Scouts. I did too. I went to Girl Scout camp for many years, every summer. I think it was a day camp. And then maybe on the last day you got to spend the night for one night. I don't know. Okay, now I'm going to take my Bubble Bath Stampin' Blends and color these flowers. I just chose Bubble Bath because that's the cardstock color, so it's going to coordinate real well. And I just noticed I didn't color in the centers of my flowers. I was in Girl Scouts for a long time. I was in 4-H for a bit. I think my mom just liked to get rid of it was free babysitting, free daycare or whatever. I don't know. Shoot, I just made a mess on my paper. Karma's getting me for saying something bad. Oh, and Candy was a scout leader. That's so fun. My this is my color lifter. Since I made that boo-boo, I'm gonna try and oh, I think I got it up. So if you use alcohol markers or Stampin' Blends, they have this color lifter and it can remove ink if you make a boo-boo like I just did, or you want to lighten something up. And then this is Mint Macaron, which I don't think we have this color anymore either, but I just grabbed a green. Like I said, I just grabbed a bunch of markers. I didn't really pay attention. What I was grabbing. And I think for the center of my flowers, I'm going to use this Lemon Lolly. I had grabbed the Lemon Lolly and then I, looks like I forgot to, oh, I used these for my bumblebees, the Lemon Lolly. Much better. Let's fix this one. There we go. Okay, and then finally the bees, which I just colored in with, this is the dark Lemon Lolly, and that also is a color in the paper that I'm using. Okay. So, and then our bunny, so there's our wheel, all nice and colored, so cute. Okay, let's color this bunny rabbit real quick. I just used some of the Bubble Bath again. This is light Bubble Bath. I'm going to color the frosting in with the light. And then her little ears. And her little paws, feet. And her little nose. There we go. Then I think I'll take the dark one and color in that her cupcake. I could have used that balmy blue for the little cupcake paper. I'll just make it quite a bit darker than the frosting and it'll be okay. With the alcohol markers, you see how as I keep adding layers, it gets darker and darker. So now there's a little bit of a, and I think for the red, I'm going to grab, or for the cherry, I am going to grab a little red. I'll just grab this cherry cobbler here. It's going to be really red cherry. There we go. I didn't do that on this little one. I'll do it right now. Okay, and then I just took, I wanted to use the lightest gray I have, which I'm not sure is if it's the slate or the Gray Granite. Let's try it. This is the light smoky slate. It's kind of dark. And this is the light gray granite. They look the same to me, but gray granite does look a little lighter. So I'm just going to kind of I took a Copic class, which are also alcohol markers, years ago. And they said to get the look of fur to just kind of pounce your marker. So that's what I'm doing. And on this little bunny, I colored him completely in. But on this one, I think I'm just going to do the shaded areas. Because I wasn't real happy with my coloring on that one. He's okay. But I'm going to change it up a little bit. So comment in the comments if you watched the Super Bowl last night. Probably a lot of you didn't have a horse in that race and could care less. But I'm just interested to see who watched it. And if you watched it, do you serve special food when you're watching the Super Bowl? Like, did you have a special meal? Did you do barbecue? You know, a lot of people do barbecue. I'd love to know what you ate. Stacy said that mom helped with Girl Scouts. Stacy's my sister, y'all, who's in the comments. Stacy watched the Super Bowl, and she's tired today too because I'm not a night owl. I'm not a night owl either, and plus you're on East Coast time, so it was an hour later for you. Yeah, it was late, but I had to stay up, and then I had to listen to all the speeches. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. And then all the fireworks went off around the neighborhood. If the Chiefs made a touchdown, they would shoot the fireworks off. But as you all know, there weren't very many touchdowns. I think there were two. Were there 2 touchdowns last night? So those people that were all prepared with their fireworks didn't get to do as much as they wanted. Stacy had pizza and wings. Candy watched it halfway and while she made cards. Oh, that's a great idea. I make this thing called sheet pan nachos, which is basically tacos that are deconstructed. But for some reason, every Super Bowl, I make a big sheet pan of just a bunch of stuff. And so we had that. Okay, so now I need to shut up and quit talking about that and show you how to put this together. We're going to die cut this little guy out here in a minute. But first, I'm going to show you how to put this together. You're going to need a brad, and my brads are pretty picked over. I need to get some new brads. These are pretty big, but they'll work because they're not going to show. And I'm going to put this, you can put this together like this, where you just stick the brad through the front of the, because there is a hole there. But because my brad is copper, I didn't want it to show, so I'm going to do mine a little different. I'm going to take this extra circle that came out of here, and right in the middle of it, I'm going to poke a hole. So to find the middle, I'm going to just kind of fold it in half, and then fold it in half. There we go. And then poke a little hole right there. And then I'm going to push my brad through this little, our little circle die that we colored, and through that circle right there. And then I don't want it really tight because I want my spinner wheel to spin pretty easily. So I'm not going to be real, I'm just going to kind of close it. See how it's kind of loose? It's going to flatten out, of course, especially when you put it in an envelope. And then I'm going to put a dimensional on each side of that brad. Okay. Now we're going to need our, we could put the front of our card together and then put it all together at once. Let's do that. So I'm going to glue this around. This is the die that we, this comes with the Give It a Whirl dies. This little sweet little frame die. I'm just using some multi-purpose liquid glue. And then that covers up that little hole that was there. And I kind of like that. I don't like that hole. So I'm just framing out that circle. Okay. And then we're going to have to die cut our little bunny out here. I probably could color him in a little bit. I just didn't want him that gray. I wish I could. Wonder if I have another lighter gray. No, I have a lot of browns and what I think I'll do is take the light and just kind of, see, I just don't want him all gray. I'll just kind of blend it in a little bit and then use my, there, that's a little better. Wasn't liking him much. Then I'm going to take the die that coordinates with him and cut him out, him or her. Need some tape. Here's a piece of tape laying around here. I'm just going to put that there and grab, I think he'll fit in my mini here. Like how my tape is folding up on me. Here we go. All right, come on, baby. I almost need 3 hands to use it sometimes. There we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and adhere this to this front panel. Here's the sample. Just kind of putting this down at the bottom. And this is just a coordinating piece that comes with the that lighter than air DSP. I used it on last week's card. This that print, the opposite side. So I'm using up all my scraps. Raise your hand if you like to use up all your scraps. I hardly throw anything away. Then I'm going to stick my little Happy Easter over here this time. This time, I don't know what I was thinking. I just kind of plopped it on there. Because I think what I'm going to do is put my bunny lower and put a little ribbon there. Or a little bow or something. So I'm going to put this way over to the right. All right, now we've got our two dimensionals on this little circle here. Before we take off that paper, we need to figure out how this is going to fit. You want the little turny thing to be over to the right, and then your picture right in the middle of the circle. I'm going to pick these flowers because they're more centered than my bird is. So now we can take these, now it's not connected yet because I'm not going to connect the top layer to this wheel. Otherwise I just want to know where to place it on my card. So there we go. So now it spins really good. And then this we're going to plop up with, we're going to plop it up or pop it up, one or the other, with some more dimensionals. And you don't want it to mess with your wheel, so you want to make sure that you don't have anything that's going to obstruct that from turning. So I'm just going to put some on the corners. And then I might take one of these bottom strips. Do you guys use the strips? I hope so. You use dimensionals. I hope you use these leftover pieces. I think I'll put it right here, just to give me a little extra. We could probably put that up there. Okay. These Give It a Whirl dies are something that you'll have in your craft room forever. Now I really want to stand up to make sure I get this on here correct, but I think it's good. What is happening? Okay, something happened. Y'all, something happened. Did I get a piece? Oh, yep, I got a piece of my dimensional on the wheel. See what I was saying? Don't do as I do. Do as I say. I can still use this though. I thought I gave it plenty of room, but evidently not. Candy, the camera is so far away, I can't see. There's a little creature on the thing. Is it raising its hand? I don't know. I'm going to add just a little bit more glue. I don't want to waste these. They'll still work. Oh, first you have to take the paper off. Okay. Did this one have paper on it? No. Okay. Let's try that again. Hopefully I have that low enough now. I want it over my brad. But I also want it centered on that card front. Now let's see. There we go. Woo! That was scary. There's a little bird. He's my favorite. There's the bees. And there's the flowers. I like the flowers too. Okay. So. It's a raising hand emoji. Do you have a question? Just go ahead and ask. I can see some, it looks like somebody's raising their hand, but I can't see. It's way far away. If I have that on my desk, I have earthquakes and it shakes. So I've got my camera, it's my laptop, way far away from me. If you have a question, go ahead. Okay, and I just added some more dimensionals to my little bunny rabbit. I'm going to put her or him down closer. See, I like that already than this guy. He looks like he's kind of flying above the sentiment. And for the inside, I was going to see if, oh, Candy said, I asked you to raise your hand if you use scraps. Yes, I save all my scraps. So Candy does too. See, I have this little thing. I'll use that for something. And that's called paper hoarding, everyone. I think I'm going to put this, you're a friend like no other. The Fluffiest Friends does not have any sentiments. So you can use anything you want. Happy birthday. Thinking of you. I love you. The little beaver has a little heart that he made with popsicle sticks or twigs. But since I'm using the Happy Easter, I think I'm going to put you're a friend like no other. So I cut a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 of the basic white. And I'm going to grab that sentiment. And a block. And this is a photopolymer stamp. And since I've never used this before, I always just kind of rub it onto my skin, kind of get some skin oil on it. Or you can stamp it into some Versamark to kind of prime it or condition it and get it ready for stamping. Or to take that ink. Just a little tip. If you notice when you're using a brand new stamp and it doesn't work very well, I always kind of do that. And since we have the stamp set out here and the markers out here, I think I'll take the little butterfly and go ahead and do it too. Hi, Kathy. We are making an interactive card. We're making a spinner card today. So I'm going to use some of that Memento ink on this. Put that little butterfly there. He's so cute. Oh, geez. I should mention, if you're local to Kansas City, I had the flu so bad last week. I was supposed to have my classes Thursday, and I got waylaid with, I haven't been that sick in a long, long time. And it took me down for 2 days. I didn't want to infect anyone, and I wasn't feeling 100%, gosh, probably until Saturday. Anyways, I had to reschedule my card classes that were supposed to be last Thursday. So if you're local to me, there is still time to sign up for the classes. They are going to be one class. I'm combining them on the 20th at 6:30. So there's still time to sign up for that. You have till next Monday, a week from today. It was just the only date that I could get it. Okay, so I used a little balmy blue marker and the bubble bath marker to color in that little butterfly, and that's sweet. And this is the one I like the best. My little prototype, I'm not real that little bunny. I might peel that little bunny off and redo him. Although he really does look okay. I think, aren't we our worst critics? Okay. So that is a spinner card, y'all. Isn't that fun? So that's interactive card number 2. Last week we did another Easter card, and it was using the same stamp set we used today, the Easter Bunny, and the coordinating punch, and we made a pop-up for that. That's sweet. And then today is the spinner card. And I have no idea what I'm going to come up with for next Monday, but we will come up with another interactive card. They're so fun. I think the little grandkids love the interactive ones too. If you have any littles, they always like something that you can play with. Hi Becky White. We're just now finishing. You can watch the replay. It's looks like you're on YouTube. So I'm here every Monday, usually at 10 a.m. Central. But today, because of the Super Bowl, I'm a little behind, and we had an afternoon class. But we made this little spinner Easter card. During the month of February, I am showing everyone how to make interactive cards every Monday in my Monday Mini class. And this is the one we made today. You can find all the information about last week's card over on my blog, theplaidpoodle.com. And like I said at the beginning, a lot of you weren't here. On Tuesdays, I mail out a PDF instruction sheet for the card. So tomorrow, if you're on my list, on my VIP mailing list, it's free. You'll get a PDF instruction sheet emailed to you. So you can sign up for that. There's directions for that in the description below. And if I can help you with any of your other paper crafting needs, be sure and reach out. And you all have a great rest of your day, and happy stamping. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.